You ever been in a situation where you've needed to influence or persuade someone to change their mind on a specific topic, but it seems like everything that you are saying is just causing them to resist what you are saying more and more, even if that decision to do what you're asking them to do could actually benefit them greatly? Well, look, if you've ever experienced this and you've been frustrated by this, then sit down and stay tuned, because in today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 simple tips to persuade other people to change their mind. Hey guys, my name is Paul Macetta, and I am a researcher in the field of human communication. So if you like learning about things like influence, persuasion, and human communication, then go ahead and consider subscribing. Guys, in the description, in the first link of the description, I'm going to hook you up with a free copy of my book, a sample edition of the Street Persuasion Playbook, and in it you will learn 10 underground tactics to influence and persuade just about anyone. So go ahead, click that link and grab that now at absolutely no cost. So look, understand this. Fundamentally, persuasion always involves some level of change. So when you're influencing or persuading someone to change their mind, that's actually what you're doing every time you attempt to influence or persuade them, no matter what it may be. Because if there wasn't some sort of a change involved, we wouldn't have to influence or persuade the person. We could just ask them to comply with what we're asking for, and they would just simply do it. But because there is some sort of a change involved, that's what requires influence and persuasion. And the reality is that most human beings are resistant to change. Most human beings like predictability, they like consistency, and they like routines. And so anytime you're asking them to change one of those things, you're going to encounter some level of resistance because people do not like change. But the second, more subconscious reason why people will resist you is because they feel like you don't understand them. You see, at the core of every human being is a basic human desire. And that desire is the desire to feel understood. And so if your audience doesn't first feel like you understand them, they're going to resist whatever you're presenting to them, no matter how good it may be for them. So the very first step is you need to let them know that you actually understand where they're coming from. And the only way you can get there is by actively listening and paying close attention to everything that they're saying to you. And then you need to be able to articulate that back to them, almost in a way that is clearer than what they are actually thinking. So what I mean by that is, if you pay such close attention to what someone's saying to you, that you can repeat back to them how they're feeling, but actually articulate it in a way that's almost clearer than the way that they articulated it to you, it's going to make them feel like you really understand them and that you're paying attention to them. And what that's going to do is it's going to lower that first barrier of resistance, because honestly, it's really a pointless level of resistance to even have to deal with to begin with, because there really is no logic in that form of resistance. Like, as someone who's trying to influence and persuade, you have enough barriers to resistance that you need to overcome, and many of them will be legitimate, logical reasons. That one is not. So it's unnecessary to even have to deal with that level of resistance. But if you don't address it, it's going to stop you from moving on to the things that you really need to overcome. So you need to let your audience know that you understand exactly where they're coming from by being able to articulate their feelings, their values, their opinions, and their point of view back to them in a way that's almost clearer than the way that they articulated it to you. Now, once you've explained that you understand their current thought process on this particular topic, it's now time to start guiding them away from their current thought process to the thought process that you want them to have. Now, this is where things can get tricky, because really what you're going to be doing here is presenting a counter argument of some sort to the way that they are currently thinking. And the reality is that people, as I said before, they don't like change. They don't like physical change. They actually don't like changing their opinions or their beliefs on certain things. And that's kind of the reason why some people will actually stick to and hold on to a belief, no matter how illogical it may seem. Even if it's been proven that what they believe is not true, they will hold on to it because they've already committed to that belief. And so the key here is to present counter arguments gently by asking eye-opening questions. And the easiest way to do this is to begin with phrases like, have you ever considered? Or, what do you think about this? Or, what's your opinion on this? Or, don't you think this? Or, how does this feel to you? Or, have you ever looked at it this way? When you ask those types of thought-provoking questions, what it does is it causes the person to start considering your point of view, or the point of view that you really want to present to them in their own mind, rather than feeling like you're shoving this new point of view down their throat. And again, this lowers their resistance and it makes them open to what you are presenting to them. And then the last thing that you want to do is you want to present some new sort of information that actually gets them off the hook or gives them an out. You see, like I said, people do not like changing their thoughts, opinions, and beliefs. And most of them will defend those thoughts, opinions, and beliefs, no matter how illogical they may seem, because they don't want to take ownership over the fact that they miscalculated and that they were incorrect. So what you want to do is give them a reason to justify why they made that miscalculation by taking them out of the equation and presenting some sort of missing information that maybe they were not aware of, which makes them say, oh, well, I didn't know that, or no one ever told me that, or that wasn't explained to me, or I was not aware of that. Because what that missing piece of information does is it gets them off the hook and gives them a logical justification for why they now need to change their mind. So again, number one, let them know that you know exactly where they're coming from. Let them know that you understand their thoughts, beliefs, and opinions on this topic by actively listening to everything that they're saying, taking mental notes, and being able to articulate the thoughts, opinions, and beliefs back to them clearer than the way that they presented them to you. Then you need to guide your thought by presenting counter arguments logically. And by doing that, you're doing it gently by slowly asking them questions that open up their mind to new considerations and new points of view, rather than feeling like you're shoving it down their throat. And then lastly is to always give them an out. Give them a logical justification to get them off the hook for why they may have made a miscalculation in the past, and why now switching over to a new thought, a new opinion, or a new belief is justified, and it takes the heat and pressure off of them. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead, leave me a comment, leave me a like. Consider subscribing if you enjoy this type of content, and if you do, hit that bell notification so you get updated when I release more videos like this.